Good morning, Ambazonians. This is Dr. Cho Ayaba. As you may hear from my voice, I feel a bit relaxed this morning, and I would like to share it with you. I warn every one of you that this revolution will not be a walk in the park. The struggle to be free from tyranny that benefits from you is difficult. What can make it easy is strategic reasoning. We always hear about Eritrea fought for 30 years, South Sudan fought for 25 years, East Timor fought for these number of years. I can assure you, based on comparative analysis with the progress of our own war of independence, that those revolutions lack strategic thinkers, strategic reasoning that built a national liberation plan that took into consideration domestic and international realities. All along, liberation fighters, frustrated by the lack of political compromises from those who oppress them, always believe that when you go into armed resistance, you are going to simply defeat the enemy. But how do you define defeat? At what stage in a war of independence do you consider the enemy to have been defeated? At what stage? And how can you measure that? Most conflicts in the world end through negotiated settlement. There are very few that have ended in outright military victories. Rwanda is a rare example. You have Second World War ended in outright defeat of Germany and its allies, Japan and Italy. But despite that outright defeat, which was very clear with surrender by the last remnants of Hitler's forces and the king of Japan, with the death of Mussolini and others, there was still, a discussion with Germany and others to find a way of translating that military victory into peace. So these revolutions that have passed, so that were fought for 30 years and stuff, based on how fast we have gone, I can assure you that those revolutions lack strategic thinkers who could develop a national liberation plan that factored in domestic and international realities. Our war of independence is magical. It's not magical because you and I are willing to be free. The Syrians are also willing to be free. There are many peoples around the world. The Western Saharans want to be free. There are more than 30 liberation struggles still ongoing in Africa. Why is it that the Ambazonian War of Independence is going at, breath-like speed? Why? Is it simply because of what we have said is God ordained? Is it because it's anchored on legal, historical validity? What is it? It is based on strategic reasoning. It is based on a national liberation plan that responds to the reality of what we face on the ground and the structure of the international system. It is based on leadership that understands that liberation struggles are difficult. The only way you defeat a liberation struggle easily is by frustrating the people to begin to believe that remaining under that oppression will be better than taking a risk into an unknown. So you need a spokesperson for that liberation struggle that constantly, 24/7, reassures the people that the future is brighter than walking back on dead bodies to the status quo that has deprived you of liberty and opportunity. This is what the Ambazonian Governing Council and my leadership has offered. Look, our struggle is like, the mango tree. Before you get the ripe mango, you get the flowers on the mango plant. Not all the flowers survive. Not all. When the wind blows, you find some of the petals and sepals, they fall off. They never live to mature in producing, the fruit. The birds, take away some of the petals and the sepals that protect, the part of the nectar that is responsible, for the mango to develop. But some of the flowers stick on because they are anchored on the branches. And the mango tree itself that is not anchored with a taproot that is strong. The strong wind might not only take out the mango flowers, it might uproot the mango tree. Even when you find the mangoes beginning to develop, it's not all of the mangoes that develop that will survive the tornadoes, the cyclones, the battering of different elements, agents of denudations. It's not all of these mangoes that develop that survive. Some are taken away by bats, some are infested by insects, some are blown away by the wind. But some of the mangoes that have grown on those mango branches stick on because they are anchored. They are anchored. Not all still get ripe. The ones that get ripe and end up on your table in the supermarket are those that are anchored. That is how our war of independence has been going. From the beginning, everyone came along. Those who just left from CPDM central committees and were captured by the euphoria, they were educated to understand that they were not Cameroonians. They all came in. Governors to be that were never had the chance. People who were supposed to be presidents that Cameroon never gave them the chance. So in our war of independence and opportunity to shine. But their entry into the revolution never translated into them being anchored in the truth, in the foundation of righteousness, in the foundation that is built on a solid rock. And so like the mango plant, any little wind is going to shake them. I would like all of these people to be part of this journey. It's a beautiful journey to the land of freedom and the land of hope. But that's the way it is. In a journey as long and difficult as ours, the train that is moving as fast as ours has been moving, not all those sitting on that train make it to the land of freedom because they are not anchored. They are shaken. They are weakened. And so I welcome all of them to use me as a punching bag. All those who are frustrated because there are bombs on the way. All those who are frustrated because they thought it was going to be a walk in the park and it's not. All those who are angry. If you need a stress reliever, I place myself in front of you as the punching bag. If that will help you regain your esteem, if that will help you regain your confidence in our drive for a freed homeland, I stand to present myself as the sacrificial lamb for you to punch. and regain your stability. So you get anchored on that train that is unstoppable. No one, not the world, not Cameroon, not conspirators, can stop this moving train. Because our war for freedom is not only anchored on righteousness and the truth, it has a very visionary leadership that understands what it is required to get us to the promised land. My fellow Ambazonians, this is what you must know. In the beginning, a lot of people were intoxicated. They were recruited as professional blackmailers and saboteurs. They were deceived the same way Cameroon deceived us to believe we were Cameroonians. The same way they argued in the beginning that our project was unachievable. The same way they changed their names from Tse to Roger. The same way you refuse to call yourself Manka because you want to call yourself Dion. The same way, all old men and women out here, they call themselves Celine, rather than anchoring themselves in the traditional roots of our heritage. It is the same way thousands of our people, bright young men and women, have been manipulated and instrumentalized to use the same tool of the social media that gave us the power to undermine Cameroon as a tool to sabotage the revolution and undermine personalities who on a daily basis try to find a way for us to get out of the grip of Cameroon. The real people sat behind and pushed these people ahead. But thank God, our restraint, not going out and fighting back, educating our people about the truth, has started changing the minds of all these people. And now we are seeing the real masquerade, the real faces that were behind these dark words of doom. They are coming forward. They are asking you to kill your own. They are asking you to destroy your own. They are telling you you cannot fight here. They are telling you you can't resist here. This is the end game. We are in the city. We are welcoming the masquerade in the city. We've seen their faces. The ugliness of their actions has been exposed because the people they used before to do their dirty job have started realizing that it is not worth it to destroy yours. When the masquerade comes to town, you know the game is over. Don't be fooled, fellow Ambazonians. The beauty of our war of independence, the beauty of this journey that we are making, the agony that is left behind by those who are traumatized, those who have been killed, does not require men and women of dark hearts who fan the flame of tribalism. Do not forget, and I recall you, Oben Peter Ashu, after having ordered the rape of women in Do, the killing of men, was rewarded with a position in Boya. Unable to defeat the SDF in the southern states, he had his last card. His last card was tribalism. His last card was calling people who had worked in the CDC, who had built homes, who developed the different cities in the southern states, calling them come no goes, was instrumentalizing difference for his own political advantage, not for the advantage of the denizens of the southern states. A few benefited from that. They became prime ministers, they became ministers. What became of the ordinary people who had lived together in harmony? Oben Peter Ashu died a miserable man. Between 1939 and 1945, Germany had a propagandist called Goebbels. Goebbels was used by Adolf Hitler as an instrument to propagate hate, falsehood and manipulation and sabotage because of Germany's desire to dominate, because of their sense of entitlement to power. They orchestrated a Machiavellian campaign against Jews and blacks. It ended up with the death of over 6 million Jews in gas chambers and death camps. Goebbels was so evil that he sacrificed his own wife and children because he was about to lose it. Each time these propagandists and Machiavellian actors are about to lose it, they want to take everyone down the pit. The late president of Rwanda, Habyarimana, instrumentalized difference. In Rwanda, 80% are Hutus, 19% are Tutsis, 1% Twas. The Belgians manipulated that difference to put Tutsis in control. Later on, Habyarimana manipulated that difference, instrumentalized Hutus, people who had coexisted, to fight one another, not for their interest, but for his own interest of entitlement to power. When he was about to lose power, he engineered a genocidal campaign that in less than 100 days, about 1 million Tutsis and moderate Hutus were butchered, hacked. Habyarimana died. He used the radiomylcholine to propagate hate. The radiomylcholine was where propaganda was being spread. Militias were being directed to kill one another. Sounds familiar today, right? Today the Hutus stand in shame, in awe, for having allowed these such propagandists for their own interest to misrepresent them, tag them forever. Evil. The Germans today are always apologizing for having believed in Goebbels, who manipulated difference for their own power base. My fellow Ambazonians, for all of you who have stood silent, shared in this barbarism act of deceit and manipulation, down the line, you will stand in shame. It's time for you to change. We are one people who face one oppressor. We're going through the same tragedy and agony. You may not believe in me, but at least you may believe in Ambazonia. What is at stake is Ambazonia. If you can't fight with me, maybe you can fight alone on your own lane. But I stand today to let you know I am unshakable. I am unshakable. Simply because I am anchored in the truth. I've never lied to you. I've never manipulated you. I don't need to have a dark heart to be effective. All those who've used me as a punching bag before, I want you to sit quietly in your own room. Don't tell me the answer. Do you believe they have become stronger? Do you believe they have a national liberation plan that can take you to Boya? What do you believe in? Do you believe in them or you believe in freedom? We have undermined Cameroon. We have defeated Cameroon at a time when we should work as a people to write their obituary in the land of our birth. We allow ourselves to be manipulated by greedy men and women. They have lost it. Their so-called glory is lost. Stick with Ambazonia. Follow the national liberation plan that makes Ambazonia ungovernable for the occupier, that increases the cost of the occupation, that internationalizes our struggle as we have done, that engage in specific targeted diplomacy to win the support of countries that are necessary to recognize us as an independent state, that provides for the valiant soldiers who defend their blocks on a daily basis. The National Liberation Plan was sold to you. You can use it. You don't need to kill the originator. You don't need to kill the vision bearer to be able to use it. What works for Ambazonia is good for Ambazonia. I enjoin all of you today to think seriously about your actions. And you know that like Goebbels, like Habyarimana, like all those propagandists of hate and tribalism before, you might be so greedy that you think you are going to survive. I want you to think about your family. Think about your children. The tag you will place on their forehead for your own crimes. No one can stop this train. Fasten your seatbelt. You can't shake me 1 inch. I'm unmovable. I am focused. I don't blink. We will batter the enemy. Hold them accountable for the acts of impunity in our homeland. That is why Mami Api died. That is why Sam Sawyer died. That is why all those languishing in jails are there. God bless our homeland. Lockdown from the 7th to the 12th. We need to stop the elections. And you cannot sit out here and ask Ambazonians to lock down for 5 days and you don't take action. That is why the consortium called for demonstration across in solidarity with our people on the ground and our prisoners, and in memory of all those who have lost their life is important. I'm discussing with Comrade Yerima. We will be discussing with other leaders where we should have our demonstration. I call on our people in London to think seriously if it should take place there. Brussels, think about it. Berlin, you can organize one. I can assure you that we will be flying there to show solidarity with our people on the ground. Stand firm. Let your thirst for freedom be unquenchable by the dark forces who seek constantly to divide us. As a people, as I said, in New York, we will battle together, we will sacrifice together, and I'm damn sure we will be free together. God bless you all, and good morning.